Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I am so excited about my most recent vintage baseball card pickup. This is a card that I think I've had on my radar and have wanted to purchase for probably close to a year. I had a particular grade in mind for this card, mainly for price purposes. It was a grade that I felt that the current sales prices for that card was within my budget and what I wanted to spend on the card, and kept looking through countless eBay listings. And this card is oftentimes off center, and so it was a real struggle to find one that presented well for what I was looking for in the card. And when I would find a well-centered copy, either the buy it now price was way too high, or if it was up for an auction, I'd get outbid. And so I wasn't sure, how long it was going to take me to finally get this card. I even saw a copy of it when I attended the Philly show at the end of last year. Great looking copy for the grade, but the dealer and I just couldn't come to terms on an agreeable price. He was sort of sticking to his guns. I thought it was very overpriced. He gave the excuse of, well, it's a great looking copy for its grade, so they wanted a premium. Well, the premium for this grade was at least a grade, if not a grade and a half higher, and I just wasn't willing to pay that much. So an auction came up. Now, this card here that I won was actually a grade lower than what I had been looking for. And I said, okay, the way I am, the number grade doesn't matter as much to me. So I said, maybe there are some nice looking copies in a grade lower, maybe even save myself some money. So I did find one. It was an auction. Now, I did put in a bid and I won it for right at the top end of the comps for that particular grade. But I'm okay with that because to me, this card presents very well for that grade. And so the price that I paid was still less than what I would probably have to pay for that next grade higher that I was willing to pay. So I get a great looking card and I saved myself some money and finally get to check this card sort of off my checklist. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you which card I picked up. Okay, from my thumbnail and title of this video, you know who the player is. It's a Tom Seaver card. And the card that I added to my Tom Seaver collection, this is 1968 Topps, his second year card, his first solo card. Obviously, his rookie card is a two-player rookie card. Rookie Cup. Again, I had been looking for this card in a PSA 5, and I came across this PSA 4 example and just loved it. Loved the centering of it. If you own this card, other 68 Topps cards, or have been looking for this card, you know that this card is notorious for being off center, left to right. I've seen more copies where the right side border is super thin and the left border is really thick. A couple times you'll see it reversed. But to find a card in a PSA 4, again, the number grade doesn't matter to me when I can find a card like this. And I looked at this card at different angles. I cannot find any creases on it. I think it's mainly down to maybe the slight off center, but some corner wear. I think maybe that corner down there is a little dinged, but again with the 68s, that burlap border hides some imperfections, which is what I like about 68 Topps. You could still get a card that the corners may not be perfect, which lower the grade, but it's still a nice looking card. And here is the back. Again, nice clean back. Now, I believe this is a newer PSA label, and Mike Baseball Collector recently did a video where he showed off a PSA reveal of cards he sent into PSA, and was talking about how it seems that PSA is being a lot more strict with their grading, especially for vintage cards. And if I was in a position to send in ungraded cards to be graded, that may be something that I would be concerned about or worried about. But as a buyer of already slabbed cards, I almost like the fact that PSA may be becoming a little more strict in their grading, because in prior times, this card may have graded a 5, and I would have had to pay PSA 5 prices. So if PSA is being a lot stricter in their grading, and cards like this end up getting a 4, that benefits me as a buyer, because now I'm paying PSA 4 prices. Again, now a seller may say, well, it presents very well for its grade, and they try to get a premium and so on. But if you stick to your guns, or if you find an auction like this, again, you may end up having to pay toward the higher end of comps like I did for a PSA 4, but you're still not paying PSA 5 prices. So again, so happy to finally add the 68 Topps Tom Seaver to my collection and my player run. Speaking of player run, I completed the Kari Yastrzemski, and I've been thinking about another player to start a run. Unfortunately, I'm missing Tom Seaver's rookie card, and I think in even maybe a PSA 2, you're probably looking at, I think the last time I checked, maybe close to $1,000. Maybe it's a PSA 3, but a 2 or 3, you're close to having a comma card right there, even in that low grade. So I don't see myself picking up a Tom Seaver rookie card anytime soon, but I have a pretty good run here of his cards, and since I'm doing a video on a Tom Seaver pickup, I thought I'd quickly show off my other Tom Seaver cards that I have in my run. So I may actually get the last 7 years that I'm missing into the 1980s, and call it maybe a partial player run until one day I am able to pick up his rookie card. So with this one here, let's take a look at some of the other Tom Seaver cards in my collection. So we have the 68, and I've shown this card off many times. This is another one where I found in a PSA 4 and just absolutely love it. At first, when I picked this up, I was a little bit more concerned about the number grade. It was early on when I was collecting vintage, and I was more concerned about trying to get collector grade. So I wanted to see if I could get a PSA 6, or if I had to, maybe drop down to a PSA 5. And then again, through a little bit of struggle and probably budget, I ended up taking a look at some 4s and found this 4 and just loved it. So, yep, there's the 69. Here's his 1970 in a PSA 6. Then we have his 71. Always a tough year with those black borders, but I managed to get one here that doesn't have much of the chipping off that black border, and centered very well. So again, does not matter to me that it is technically a PSA 5. All right, the next one here is his 72 Topps in a PSA 6. His 73, also in a PSA 6. Love the centering on that. Again, some corner wear, but the thing I liked about it is again, centering on these 73s is sometimes wonky, to say the least, but this isn't too bad. But again, backs aren't as essential to me as the fronts in terms of centering. All right, one of my favorite Tom Seaver cards is his 74. Have this in a PSA 6 as well. This one was a bit of a struggle as well to find a decently centered, still has a little bit of a diamond centering to it, but decent centered card for a sort of mid-grade, not quite collector grade, but was happy with a 6 here. I think this card looks great. And there's the back. Now, while the 74 is one of my favorites, the next one here, the 75, I don't know, it is probably my least favorite Tom Seaver card. He has a lot of action shots for some of his cards. I think this shot here and sort of the colors used, now the yellow is a little bit brighter, but I don't know, it seems to be like a dark image. I don't know, with him in the shadow there, it's just not one of my favorite cards of Tom Seaver, but this one here is a PSA 6. You can see it suffered from, most likely, it looks like a wax stain there. I think it gives the card some character, and you can still make out the stats and all that stuff, so was not upset with that staining on the back there, and probably was resulting in why it received a 6 and not a higher grade, so that's fine with me. All right, next one is I have a 76 Topps Victory Leaders with Randy Jones and Andy Messersmith, PSA 7 copy. There are all the Victory Leaders. This is, so it actually goes back to 1901. And who were the Victory Leaders for the National League. So that's pretty cool. All right, next is his regular 1976 Topps card. This one, I think I picked up at one of the Nationals in a PSA 8 copy. Happened to see it, sort of an impulse buy. Really didn't need it in the PSA 8. I got a decent deal for it. I think I matched it up with another card the dealer had, so I got a combo deal for buying 2 cards off him. But yeah. Then the next one is his 1977. Really like this card. Love that action shot of him pitching there. Found this well-centered 77 again, which is 77s are my nemesis in terms of trying to find well-centered copies that aren't overly priced or high-grade copies. This one's in a PSA 7. And then his 1978. I do have this one in a 9. Again, I did want to get higher grades, really nice looking copies for my 78 cards. So that's why I wasn't necessarily looking for a 9 per se. I wanted at least an 8 for this one, but happened to find a 9 at the time for a decent price. And then 2 more here is 1979 Topps, also in a PSA 9. Sometimes hard to get in 79s with the centering for a lot of those 79s. And the last one is 1980 in a PSA 8. So I'm missing his 1981 through 1987 Topps cards. So I may decide to go after them, probably in just a basic PSA 8, nothing crazy. I don't think they're overly expensive. I started looking at some listings to see if I wanted to complete his player run as best as I can for now. Again, so I may have Tom Seaver as my next challenge for a player run, or at least call it close to a player run, and then, like I said, someday maybe be able to pick up his rookie card. So there you have it, my 1968 Topps Tom Seaver, a card that I have been waiting so long to add to my collection. Would love to know in the comments, what do you think of my pickup and my other Tom Seaver cards? Do you think I should go for the rest of his playing days run, 81 through 87, and wait till I can someday hopefully afford his rookie card? With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.